Free Range Games have just released Summit X Snowboarding for the Oculus Rift DK2. Now what's interesting about this is that the game was originally designed for the iOS and Android platforms, and this is really sort of an experiment by the developer to see how well their project works if they just convert it to work with the Oculus Rift DK2 and then to be played on a PC. One of the benefits of this being designed for mobile platforms originally is that obviously mobile phones and portable tablet devices don't have the most powerful processors in them. So when you put this on a PC, even if you had a moderate graphics card, say, I don't know, like a 5-6 year old graphics card, you should still, maybe not 5 years, 3 or 4 year old graphics cards, you should still be able to run this easily at the 75 FPS required by the DK2. On my system, which is an i5-2500K with a GTX 760, this is running absolutely flawlessly whilst recording at the same time. And surprisingly, the graphics actually look really nice. The developer's done a fantastic job with having a really nice coherent art style to the game. I mean, look at the skybox looks really nice. The OLED panel on the DK2 does a fantastic job of nighttime scenes, or scenes where you've got high contrast between, say, a dark sky and point lights and stuff. And even though I'm sure the lighting is largely baked into this, it looks really spectacular. I've just noticed that the head tracking is not one-to-one. It's sort of magnified by, I'd say, maybe 160 times magnification of your head movement. It's kind of operating a bit like track IR. The rotation is one-to-one, but it's the sort of transitional, don't know what the word would be, my yaw, I guess, isn't one-to-one at all. And you think intuitively that would completely throw you off, but actually that's quite comfortable. It just has the effect for me of making the environment seem a little bit miniature. It's as if I'm looking at a miniature world and moving my face over it, which obviously would make it look as if everything's moving a lot faster. But let's get going. The mechanics should be nice and simple, because with it being a mobile game, I'm sure they were expecting people to be thumbing away whilst on a train commuting to work, so we can't put anything too complicated in it. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller to play this because that's what the developer recommends on the text file that comes with the download. You can download this on Oculus Share. Spacebar to pause, there we go. The movement and animation is really fluid. He automatically does tricks when you go over bumps, but that's a really nice little particle effect there. And it's really, really satisfying. And what's amusing about this is, even though it is essentially a mobile phone game, it's easily on a par with early 2000s PC games. But because you're playing it on a DK2, in many ways, the power of the 3D and the ability to look around makes this more of a spectacle than playing a normal AAA game on a monitor. It's just bizarre that a mobile phone game can have that impact just because of the Oculus Rift. I think I'm supposed to be getting these things because they're spinning and they make nice sounds when you hit them. Now the different surfaces have different sounds, which is really nice. Whoa! Okay, if I move the right analog stick, that also controls the camera up and down, or sort of zooms in and out. Oh, there we go. That looks incredible. The thing is, I mean, it might depend how sensitive you are to motion sickness, but for me, as long as the game that you're playing is running smooth at the full 75 FPS with absolutely no judder, then I find it really comfortable. This is actually extraordinary. I cannot believe I'm getting this excited over a mobile phone game on a PC. I mean, really, the platforms are relevant. They're all computers. It's just they're just computers with different amounts of processing power, really. And mobile developers do get a lot of stick, but obviously there's a lot of talent working on mobile games. And as I say, the artwork in this is really sort of coherent. The style follows through. It's really to the point and concise and well developed. Let's go again. Start, I think. Starts, yeah, there we go. I think this is pretty exciting though for people. If you were a mobile phone developer using Unity or other mobile platforms, you might have a project that could work quite well as an Oculus Rift game. Obviously, DK2 game or CV1 or DK2 games are going to benefit from actually being designed for VR in the first place, and just shoehorning them into a VR environment probably isn't the best thing. Having said that, this is really, really nice. Just looking at the character and admiring it is satisfying in itself. I guess I'm easily pleased. I've just been absolutely mind blown by the DK2 and just the ability to actually appreciate games more with it. On a basic level, you can appreciate the artwork and the nature of games. Because games are 3D, but you normally just see them on 2D screens, you really miss out on a lot of what goes into them, but the DK2 lets you appreciate that. That's something I really enjoy. Whoops. Get right into his face, give him a little bit of a kiss on the cheek. I know, I used to love old snowboarding games. I forget the names of them. Of course, there's the Xbox 360 launch snowboarding game, which I've forgotten its title. There's the Trickstar games, Amped, I think it was called. There was one on the PC. Might have even been 90s. I've forgotten its title. It's a snowboard racing game. Put hours into that. It's fantastic. This is really cool, just looking at the details. And yeah, the head tracking not being one-to-one really is not a problem. And that could be the case why people that were playing Lucky's Tale, talking about the conferences, a lot of people intuitively watch that and you think, oh, the camera's floating around all over the place, it's going to make everyone sick. And I'm sure it will make some people sick. But a lot of people were saying they were genuinely surprised as to how it didn't make them sick. And this is probably demonstrating the same sort of thing, that even though I'm flowing through an environment at 30 plus miles an hour, even though the camera's not one-to-one, as long as the game is running completely smooth at the 75 Hz and on the CV1 90 Hz, I don't think motion sickness is going to be that much of an issue. Well, it won't be for me, at least I don't think. So, good for me, maybe not for others. But that is Summit X Snowboarding. Runs perfectly. Really worth trying out. As I say, it's just interesting, the aspects of it, and the developers using this themselves as a way to just test for DK2 implementation. Maybe this developer will try and get involved with DK2 development. I'd hope so, because I think in the initial 3 or 4 years of VR, there's going to be a good opportunity for smaller developers to sort of get their foot in the door before it gets established. As we sort of saw with iPhone, when that first came out, there was a little bit of a gap before everyone jumped on board and it got completely saturated. And obviously these developers that have been developing for mobiles will have a head start in that they're used to developing experiences that run on slower computing platforms. So, Summit X Snowboarding, download it from Oculus Share. I'll put the link underneath the video. Thanks for watching this. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to the video, like the video, and follow us on Twitter. That's like 10 things to do, and there you go. Thanks for watching and goodbye.